Now, we also can see that this compressed tax schedule exists for capital gains rates. In 2024, a trust would hit the top tax rate of 20% for long-term capital gains with more than $14,650 in long-term capital gains, as opposed to the required $518,901 for individual filers or married joint filers. Again, that number goes up to $583,751. So that's a considerable difference. It's quite a lot, a big disparity between what those marginal rates are when we're looking at trust rates versus what those would be for the individual. Now, would you rather would you rather that the trust specifically pay the income tax,
incognito,
or
right?
you as the individual? Looking at the disparity of the rates, the logic would say no. You wouldn't want the trust to pay those taxes. We always want to pay less tax, not more. So you can imagine why people would prefer to be taxed based on their individual income tax schedule as opposed to that trust tax schedule. And really, this is just scratching the surface of the issue.
Let me edit this.
While you may be able to identify the problem right off the bat, it can't be hard to see how big a problem this actually may be. So let's go back to our visualization of a grantor trust and look at those specific arrangements. So we're going to look at a specific example here to show you how this can work and what
this is actually this is training for financial advisors. So what I'm doing is, this is why you have a lot of people who run around and are great at marketing. Oh, buy term, invest the rest. But for example, like the webinar I'm having tonight, I'm going to be talking about home buying through different possibilities. This is the type of stuff that we go through, which is training, teaching us a bunch of different stuff that a lot of people don't teach you. They just teach the rich. And what I'm doing is I'm actually teaching you. The reason I'm incognito is because I just got in trouble for doing this, but I shared it. So now you guys aren't seeing it. Can't help if you hear it, because if I was at an open office, like a Regis office, the people who were near me would be able to hear it. So you're listening to how estate planning works right now.
Trusts continue to hold the asset that was contributed in the very beginning.
But actually, that's a good idea, because if you ask questions and it's not all their proprietary information, right? It's me speaking over it too.
The value held in each trust at the beginning was also $10 million. But in year 30,
Bronze, what up?
Our trust values are no longer identical. The non-grantor trust is worth $26.2 million, whereas the grantor trust is worth $45.4 million. Now, where did this nearly 50% difference come from? I think that most everybody here has heard of the concept that we refer to as the time value of money. It's basically the idea that $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow. And we all, as financial professionals, understand the impact that compounded interest, or in this case, that compounded growth, can have on a portfolio's total value. I'm not going to belabor the point here, but instead, I just want to take a moment to recognize how big of an impact paying more in taxes can have on the value of a trust over time. So think about it. If you're paying taxes on the income, then the trust isn't. And instead, the trust is able to save the money that it would have spent on income taxes and reinvest it. That means that the ultimate beneficiary is going to enjoy a larger inheritance, which will only compound over time. Furthermore, the grantor will be able to remove from their estate not only the value of the asset, but also the income from the asset and its appreciation over time, and the income taxes paid on the grantor during life. Being paid not on the grantor, but being paid actually by the grantor during their lifetime. Now, if the goal was to reduce the estate, which a lot of times it is, then a grantor trust can be an extremely successful tool that can be used relative to a non-grantor trust. And so grantor trust, again, can be a very handy tool in estate planning. Now, before we move on and look at some examples of idiots, it's important that we mention a few things. We're going to look on some specific examples of grantor trust. And so we'll mention a few things here. First and foremost, it may seem obvious, and you may have thought